Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stardisco channel. I am your host, Siren Creatrix, also known as Stephanie Pierre. Siren Creatrix being one of my alter egos, stage name. As a performance and singing artist, I go underneath that name. So, oh my gosh. I have so many things that I want to jam about and share with you guys, things that are popping off in the Stardisco world. Before I get into that though, I'm just going to double check and make sure that the live situation going on here, you can hear me. If you're watching this, let me know that you can hear me. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, as they say. Amazing. Yes, we are live. We're doing it. Let's roll. Okay, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing on this amazing Wednesday? Oh my God, I've got all of the things to share with you guys. So let me get this going on here. My little setup here before we go. Okay, awesome, sweet. All right, yeah, so this is what I wanted to share and talk to you guys about. So for those of you that do not know, let me just introduce myself a little bit more. My name is Dr. Stephanie. I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine, acupuncture, but I'm also a singer and an astrologer and a soul facilitator. And so my brand, the Stardisco Brand, is where I have synthesized my 15 plus years of Chinese medicine background, as well as astrology, alchemy, being a performance artist and an athlete. I've woven it all together and distilled everything and brought you this amazing way to live your life, to really flow with the cosmos and to access all of the different voices of intelligence that you have inside of you so that you can live your life as fully expressed and ultimately, be on your highest self-expression, your highest timelines, become who you've always meant to be. But the Stardisco Brand is specifically for artists and creative entrepreneurs that love to look good, that love to be seen, and maybe you're an undercover starlet and you've always wanted to be on stage. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. What's up, Eartha? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? I wanted to talk to you guys about because it is eclipse season. It's eclipse season. And so I wanted to share with you guys how I work with the cosmic rhythms for my personal journey as an artist, for my feminine artistry and avant-garde self-expression. And for those of you who you may or you may not know, I have a music video that's coming out that's called Dragon Ride. I should have done a drum roll. I should have done a drum roll, but I did. I kind of did. Anyway, I have a music video coming out and I'm super stoked and excited to be sharing that with all of you guys. Some of you guys may already know my song, one of my songs, Python, also called Dragon Ride. And some of the behind the scenes of this song have been in time with the eclipses. Okay, and actually that's what the song is about. The song is about the dragon ride of the eclipses because that's what the eclipses are. They happen a couple of times a year. And by the way, we are in eclipse season. We're about less than 1 month out from the first eclipse in the sign of Aries that will be happening on April 20th. And what these they are destiny portals. The dragon is a symbol of your soul. Okay, that's what the dragon actually symbolizes. It's the desire nature of the soul to grow and expand and evolve your consciousness. So where you're hungry, where you have desire, When you follow the path of your soul, you're following the path of desire, because desire is the energy, is the energy that creates new life. Think about it in lovemaking. When you're really into somebody and you're desiring them and you're just like, right? Like that's the creative life force that creates a new life. And that's what our soul's journey is about, right? It's about being on that leading edge of the unknown. What's up, Claudia? So the dragon ride is where you're riding that. You're literally riding that, and it can feel like this because it's very uncertain. When you follow the path of desire, desire doesn't care whether you are liked. It doesn't care whether you're validated. It doesn't care if you have security. Desire's only interest is in the evolution of your consciousness. That's the whole purpose of it. It's the whole purpose of desire, is for the process of your soul's growth and evolution. And so that's the number one thing, that when people are experiencing stagnation in their life, or they're experiencing where they're stuck, or they don't have enough, there isn't enough time, there isn't enough money, it's because they're not on their leading edge of desire. They're focused on safety and security. And that is the opposite of being on a soul's journey of evolution, because it's about being in the unknown. It's how you dance with uncertainty. It's how you ride the waves. So this song, Dragon Ride, every development of this song, so every time I would go to the studio or have a breakthrough in the song, would coincide with the eclipses. And I mean, this is the kind of stuff where you just can't make this up, right? It's like, that's what the song's about. So of course that's how it would unfold. And so this is something that not only do I utilize following and being aware of the rhythms and and this is why my brand is called Stardisco, because it's about dancing with the cosmos, because you are a star. This is dancing with the stars, the music of the spheres. It's a disco party. You are a heavenly body in motion. And when you can start to align your life with the unfolding of the cosmos, because you yourself are a universe, and it's a type of a Jennifer is in the house. Okay, so I just have to say this. Jennifer is one of my Stardisco alumni. She was in the Telegram chat, by the way. I have a free Telegram chat for people who are seriously interested about the Stardisco apprenticeship and or the Stardisco brand. And I provide you with free intro trainings. There's VIP offers, and it's just an amazing space with other like-minded artists and entrepreneurs, high performance artists and entrepreneurs. And so this is our Aries goddess in the house, in the Stardisco house, Jennifer Boyce. And so this is one of the most powerful things that you can do, guys. I'm giving you guys tips on the eclipse, okay? So pay attention. You're welcome. Where the eclipses are, right, is where you're going to experience the most growth. You know, if you're interested in growth and being on your next level and going big, you know, and like just being on your leading edge of what's next, and I want more and I want to discover more, and just living a really expansive and exciting life, you want to follow where the nodes are. Okay, and so the nodes are going to be shifting. They've been in Taurus and Scorpio for the last year and a half. And now they're shifting into Aries and Libra. So if you know any Aries, these are the people to watch, because that's what Aries, that's their sun sign, which means that they are a huge light source, a potent, like they're shining literally the spotlight of where humanity is headed, and where ideally you can experience the most growth if you align with that. So by watching, how do they act? What do they do? What are their behaviors? What does it mean to be an Aries? It's literally going to align you with how to ride the dragon. And eclipses are a wormhole. So raise your hand, let me know in the comments. Have any of you guys watched like science fiction movies or Star Trek or any of those things where they talk about wormholes? Let me know in the comments. I should have gotten some water. I actually might do that. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. I gotta get some water because I'm gonna be talking. Oh yeah, last but not least, I really do want to speak to this. So what's the benefit? Like, why should you give a fuck about the eclipses? Let me just, because I haven't even talked about that. Like, yeah, great. Arguably, we're always on our, you can always be on your leading edge. You can always be on your soul's path of greatest evolution. But when it comes to the eclipses, what happens is there's a rip in the fabric of time. There is a rip in the fabric of time, which means that you can actually travel really, really fast, hence the wormhole, and break with the past. Raise your hand, let me know in the comments if you experience where you're just like, like I keep having this issue in my life, or I can't seem to break through, or, this thing that I have it's like the same. Like I haven't really been able to experience irreversible change in this area of my life. This situation kind of it's just the way that it is. Let me know in the comments if you are experiencing something like that now, or if that's kind of like becoming aware. You're becoming aware of that right now, or you're just like, I'm ready to break free with the past. Like I'm ready for a breakthrough. I'm ready for this next level. I'm ready for the next chapter. Let me know if you're experiencing that now in the comments. Side note, I'm in the process of composing the Harlequin the Huntress perfume for Mars Moxie. let me show you guys. Have you guys seen it? So some of you guys are new, like I create art pieces, whether it's music, whether it's perfumes, whether it's paintings, whether it's me modeling, and then I create artwork based upon that to encapsulate the energy of either a planet or an archetype, or a lot of times it's archetypal, it's like an archetype that I'm a voice of intelligence that I'm choosing to align with. I'm going to get to these comments in just a moment. Just stay with me. So I create art as a part of that process, as a part of my self-discovery, self-expression, just because I fucking love it, because I'm an artist. And it's like, I could not imagine my life not just making the world around me more beautiful. I would love to know, who are the artists that are tuning in? If you're in my world, I'm sure you're an artist, because that's who I attract, because that's what I am. But even like, for example, gardening. You may not consider yourself a gardener, but even gardening is one of the archetypes, one of the, how would I say, it's a type of artist archetype, because you're making the earth more beautiful by taking care of the flora, by arranging it in a certain way, by making sure that the plants are healthy and alive and vibrant. That's art. That is an art. Gardening is an art. So let me show you. You guys, this is very rudimentary, okay? It's only in the beginning stages, and I have been telling you, this has been like, fuck. I think it's hilarious that we're in Aries, like this whole thing, because one of the shadows of Aries is fucking impatience. And I was joking with my guys, with my people in the Telegram chat. I'm like, I'm going to be sainted. I'm going to be sainted as the patrons, like patience. I'm going to be sainted because of my patience in my, in with this song in the music video, because it's like taken fucking forever. But that's like why art and creativity is such a, it's like, it's otherworldly, because you don't have control over it. That's like, I feel one of the great, like why it's so erotic and why it's so pleasurable, is because you can't force it. You can't control it. All you can do is know how to feed it and know how to be and align with the muse, right? With being your own muse as an archetype, and surrounding yourself with those qualities that do nourish the creative spirit and help you to just like get out of the mind and release your inhibitions and just not give a fuck about what other people think or what other people say. So with that, meet Harlequin the Huntress. This is Harlequin, guys. You can see her little pink tails. For those of you, it's kind of like if you guys are familiar with Harley Quinn, who is the girlfriend of the Joker, and or if you're familiar with the Thoth deck, this is the Harlequin is the adjustment card. So she's in the very early stages. I mean, she still needs to be painted, and there's definitely more. You know, I'm going to be working with like the checkerboard, some of the motifs of like the Queen of Hearts and Off with Her Head and Alice in Wonderland, because this is for Mars and Gemini. She is the archetype that we aligned with in the Mars retrograde, the Mars Moxie retrograde. And she is the archetype that we are using. This is in the Stardisco brand, and that you can use if you like, to align with the Mars energy for the next 2 years, which is going to be fucking, this is the ruler of Aries, guys, is Mars, which is why I was saying, if you did your Mars Moxie work, for those of you who are in Mars Moxie, or you did your Mars work, like, so for example, Jennifer was just like, I did it. She was, and I'm, boom, because Aries, right? Like, here she is showing us how it's done. That is the energy that you want to lead with, that you want to align with for these next 2 years. Okay? Let me take a look at some of these comments. I have had areas that I have made changes with, but working through you and your knowledge, but I also still have some areas where I'm stuck in the same. Yeah. So for you, Jen, because you're an Aries, right? And I remember you're also Libra rising. Where this is going to happen for you is the angle of relationships. It's because it's self, the first house, Libra, and then also in Aries, which is your 7th house. So that's the axis where this eclipse is going to start like moving things. So if you know your chart, you want to look to where, what house, what area of your chart, what area of your life is the Aries and Libra axis. That's where things are starting to get churned up, where things are starting to change, and or where if you align with this energy, and I'm going to be sharing more practical things on how to do this inside of the Telegram chat, and or I highly recommend getting a reading. And by the way, something that I want to share with you guys is, so in my business, and this is always the case, is I get really, really busy during eclipse season because people feel it. You know, like deep down inside, there's something inside of you that's just like, I can feel that something's happening. I can feel there's time for a change. I can feel that something new. I can feel that I want more, or I need to change something, or I want to change something, or I'm ready for, you know, like you feel it. It's something that you feel in your soul. It's undeniable. And for those people that maybe are in denial, or they ignore the signs and the symbols, or they ignore listening to their heart, or they ignore listening to their soul, this is where you get the wake-up calls. And this is where you get like the light switch that comes on and off, and where you're like, oh my God, like I can't believe this just happened. Like it's a situation where sometimes you feel like the rug is being pulled out from underneath you to wake you up. Because it's where you're sleepy. The nodes of the moon, and this is why the patterns that we have in our life, the ones that seem not to change, where it's just like, I don't know how to get past this, or it keeps on happening. It's because it's a subconscious pattern. It's where you're sleepy. It's like you don't see it because you don't know what you don't know. And that's why we need other people to help us see what we can't see, to be objective and to access more of the like subliminal, subconscious patterns that are running the show. These are these things where it's like, oh, this is just my fate. Like, this is just the way that it is. This is just how the cards are for me. And it's like, no, that's because it's where you're asleep and it's not where you're aligned with your highest destiny. So what happens is a lot of people reach out to me during eclipse season, and the truth is that I'm not able to see everyone in that time because I'm booked out at least a month. And so if somebody really wants a session right now, I'm like, I'm booked out for the next month and a half or two. And so either people don't want to wait that long, and or maybe the price isn't right for them. And so what I am doing right now is my Stardisco alumni, or not my alumni, my apprentices, excuse me, those that are in the Stardisco as my apprentices, I am opening up so that I can service, so that we can service more people that are wanting readings at this time. So if that's something that you're interested in and you would be getting an astrological reading by one of my apprentices, reach out to me and let me know, because there's going to be special pricing and an opportunity if you're wanting something soon, within the next couple of weeks, in less than a month. You can have that. You know, if you want to wait to work with me, then you can do that as well. But you're looking at the end of April, May. Okay? So let me come back to more of these questions. Joey is in the house. What's up? Joey's a gardener, and I definitely take pride in my artwork. Jennifer says, I love plants, but more house plants these days. What kind of house plants are you, what do you got going on, Jen? I'm like really into orchids. My orchids are like, I'm doing really well. The orchids are good. They're not dying. And I have ferns, and I have a little rose bush, but it's outside. It's not inside. Yes, Jen. Okay, so this is the area for you, the relationship sector. So for the next year and a half, if you say yes, if you like, you're aligning with that Aries edge, which is, I mean, for you, that's your sun, right? And Aries is, I mean, you're an Aries, so right? Like, you should get on here and share with us your wisdom as an Aries. Tell us about what being an Aries is like. The thing with Aries, or with the eclipses, though, that you got to be aware of as well, though, is that it also brings up the shadows of that sign. So all of the amazing fiery qualities of Aries are going to be there, but also the shadows, which can be impatience, being too impulsive, maybe like being even too selfish, right? Where it's all about me, but you're not open to having the presence where you are aware of, well, how are they feeling? Or seeing things from another person's point of view. You might be so stuck in how you see things and from your perspective, and either wanting to be first, wanting to be right, like, or even there can be a very immature type of quality to Aries, because it is the baby of the zodiac. I mean, it's the reason we love Aries, because it's very childlike, like fresh, like, let's go, let's do it, let's like have an adventure. But then it's like the shadow of Aries is where it's all about me, and then you're alone. This is like, it's like aloneness can be one of the shadows of Aries, because it doesn't really know how to be in partnership, because it just likes to do, because it wants what it wants. And relationships are a dance, right? There's a dance, and it's about authenticity. When you have the courage to be authentic and to shine that authentic truth of who you are, you're naturally going to magnetize people that resonate with that. But if you're not being true to who you are, I'm going to give you this example. This is an amazing example, and this was such a game-changing moment for me, and I want to share it with you, about authenticity and how powerful authenticity is, and how liberating it can be for you, but also when it comes to, like, something that I've been seeing a lot in the online space is a lot of people feeling like, like they're having to leave relationships, or certain people aren't being able to stay in their life because they feel like they're growing, and the other people in their life just aren't, it's like either they're jealous, or they, it's kind of like, imagine you're changing your dance moves. When you change and you grow, naturally you're going to want different things. You're going to behave in a different way. You're going to have different standards. And so, because now you're different, that means that the people that are in your world are either they have to change and alchemize with you, or it's going to feel like a disconnect. It's going to feel like you don't get each other. It's like, what do we have in common? Maybe my values are shifted. The values are changed. And so that can be it can bring up disappointment. It can bring up heartache. It can feel sad. There's a lot of grief involved, because it's like, you can't live a lie anymore, because it's not healthy. It's not good. One of my favorite teachers, one of my Chinese medicine 5-element practitioners, she's also a Sufi. One of my favorite quotes from her is, you can be you, or you can be ill. So meaning, when you're not being all of who you are, that's where you get sick. That's where you experience stagnation in your life, or you're feeling like things aren't just like growing and moving because you're not really being honest with who you are and what it is that you really want for your life, and having the courage to do it and go after it and be it, and or maybe even tell other people about it. Being a warrior is it's very vulnerable. And that's the paradox of the Aries warrior energy, is that wearing your heart on your sleeve is vulnerable, because you're showing people who you are and what happens when you show people who you really are. Hey Hamdi, hey Jimmy, hey guys. I'm gonna get to your comments in just a moment. But what happens when you open your heart and you're just like, this is who I am, now the potential for rejection is there. And that's where the shadow of Libra comes in. Libra wants to be liked. Libra wants to be loved. The sign of relationship, she's like, she wants you to love her, right? The lover wants to be loved, wants to be desired. So there's a great fear that if I am honest, and if I wear my heart on my sleeve and I put myself out there and it's not returned, then I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be rejected. Nobody will love me. Nobody will. And that's why there's a great fear of people being seen. It's like such a big thing. Like people, like a deep, deep desire that almost everybody on this planet has. It's just like a common human, is people want to be seen because you're a light. That's what light is for. It's to be seen. You are a light source. Everybody has the light, but not everybody is turned on. And so if you're trying to fit in to be liked, or you're avoiding the truth, telling the truth, just saying it how it is because you're afraid of triggering somebody else, or you're afraid of being rejected, or you're afraid of rocking the boat, or you're afraid of things getting hot and uncomfortable or conflict because you're avoiding truth, that's the number one way to stay small and to actually be living a life that isn't true to you. And sometimes, yes, it means that you have to be willing to do it. But here's the thing, and this is what I see all the time with the eclipses, and this is why people actually don't make the moves, why they don't make the change, why they don't take the next step, is because they feel that if they're their authentic self, they're going to have to get divorced. They're going to lose their jobs. They're not going to get money. They're not going to get paid. Like all of the security issues. But love, authenticity, and even art isn't about safety. It's about truth. Love is not about safety, connection. It's about truth. If you're living a lie, but you have people in your life, what good is that? Because they're in love with the lie. They're in love with, or they're only hanging out with you for the facade that you're presenting to them. Jen says, oh, being vulnerable. I recently had something I recently had something that happy and cried. The person that I was with was like, oh my God, I've never seen you this way. You're always the one being strong and taking care of everyone else. Being I opened up and had that moment, I now have a stronger relationship with her. Yep. Beautiful. Yeah. Because love and truth are the most powerful forces in the universe. It's either love or truth. You're entitled to nothing. Something that you're going to hear me say in my world, if you're in it for any length of time, is you're entitled to nothing but love and truth. You're entitled to nothing but love and truth. And they are, I mean, that's essentially what you are, is love and truth. So if you're not aligned with those, if you're not either being in your truth, which is love, then you are weak because you're not connected to your power. You're not connected to your truth. So I want to share with you what happened at the gym. So for those of you guys know I'm a big gym rat, and I was at the gym, and also, for those of you guys that don't know, I have collabed with one of my clients, and she's now my business bestie. I actually went with my husband Cham to a fitness competition in California. It's almost been a month now, I think. And so she competed in the embassy, like a national qualifier bikini contest. And so we've now collaborated, and we're doing a 12-week group coaching program called Mermaid Booty. So it's a fitness, a group coaching program specifically for identity shifts, lifestyle, and fitness, but really focused on your booty and even the concept of mermaid, or the archetype of the mermaid, and what the mermaid's all about, which is all about sensuality and beauty, and making the world around you more beautiful, and by you owning your beauty and loving your beauty and connecting with your beauty. So where was I going with this? Yes, right. So I'm at the gym because I'm in prep mode for this mermaid booty, right? And so I'm just like, okay, like, you know what I mean? It's game time. And something that this was really challenging for me. It's just like, because anytime it's like, if you haven't, it's like, for example, like I'll use, like, if I'm going to be on stage, or if I know I'm going to be performing, or I'm going to be doing a competition, you have to get serious, right? Because it's like, okay, I mean business. I have a goal and an objective that I want to accomplish. Every time that I slack off, or I don't go to the gym, or I don't do what I'm supposed to do, or I just kind of like fizzle out, or I don't give it my all, it's every day, the closer that you get to that end goal, and you haven't really like done what it is that needs to get done, it's like that is the make or break point between you getting what you want at the end of the tunnel or not. Okay? So people that like to win, Aries, people that love to succeed, that want to experience tangible results and growth, it's like there's a focusing that needs to happen. You get focused. You get like everything that you're doing is like, it's a part of this or it's not. And if it's not a part of my end game right now, I have to make that sacrifice. And this is actually what separates a lot of people from not getting the results that they want in their life, or not being able to break through to the other side, because they're not willing to make those sacrifices. They're not willing to get that uncomfortable for what it is that they want, essentially. And safety comes into that. Being in a potentially, like in a situation where it's like, I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know if I'm going to get my investment back. I don't know if he's going to like me or not. I don't know. All of the unknowns This is what separates people from making the lasting change and those that don't, is they're not willing to be and dance with the uncertainty, or they're going to do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Well, that's the number one way to fail, is by putting something off into the future. I'll do it next time. I'll do it the next time it's more convenient. I'll do it the next time I have the money. I'll do it the next. There is no next time when it comes to this. When it comes to being in the present moment, when it comes to accessing all of your power, energy, and resources to make, the reason that you don't have what it is that you want in your life right now is because you're not being it right now. The reason that you don't have what you want in your life right now is because you're not being it right now. In order to change your reality, you have to change your personality. You have to change who you're being. And so are you being the kind of person that this is just what they do? This is just how they operate. Being a high competitive athlete, I'm not pushing things off into tomorrow. I'm doing it today. So I was having this moment at the gym where it was just like, fuck, I kept on wanting to push off my workouts to like, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll train really hard tomorrow, or I'll put the weight up tomorrow. And it was just like, no, Steph, it's fucking now. Because if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. So you have to start changing who you are. And that's, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's why mediocrity exists in this world, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and not everybody is doing it. 96% of people don't do it. It's a fact. It's fucking statistics. It's science. So I'm in the gym. I'm going really fucking heavy. And I mean, I'm like this, like half of the workout, my eyes are closed because I'm focused. It's like that's what I needed to do. And you have to be able to tap into this place inside of you where you don't care what fucking other people think about you, what you look like, being judged. You cannot care. You're focusing on the wrong things. That's what it means to shape shift, is you're choosing what your focus changes. Your focus changes. So I'm in like fucking head down, like this is what I'm fucking serious. Okay, serious. Now I want to share this with you because I come from a family of attorneys, state senators. I'm a doctor. But for a really, really long time, I didn't want to be seen as serious. I didn't want to be seen as somebody like considered like a serious authority figure in that kind of way. Because I felt like people would think I'm not fun. Which is fucking hilarious because I know how to have a good time. It's a given. But there was a part of me that wasn't owning that didn't feel like I could be both. That I could be fun and I could have a great time and I could be in my feminine and enjoy life and have the pleasure, but also be fucking solid and serious as fuck with like a fucking razor knife, like cutting it away. Cut the dead wood out. Cut the distractions out. Willpower, no, fuck you, I don't give a fuck. Like an assassin. Hashtag Mars Moxie. Okay. I didn't want to be seen that way because, somebody's not going to like me. They're going to judge me. What are they going to think about me? That was me giving over my power to what other people thought. Being possibly rejected. If I'm owning who I am, all of who I am, which includes the part of me that is like edgy, that is harsh, serious, business. So this guy comes up to me in the gym. Now, mind you, I want you to imagine this. Imagine just so that you can see the picture, okay? I'm in the gym and I'm lifting really heavy weight. For me, really heavy weight. Like, and my eyes are closed, I'm focused, and this guy comes over to me and he's like, "Why are you so serious? Why are you so serious?" And he's like, he's talking to me. It wasn't just that line. I choose to remember what else he was saying, but he was just like, "Oh my God, like you're so serious. Why do you need to be so serious?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, first of all, you're wrong." And I didn't feel the need, like that was it. I was just like, that's what you're seeing right now. You're only seeing this one aspect of me. How can you come to a conclusion about what I am or who I am based upon this 10 minutes in the gym? Now all of a sudden you know who I am, you know everything about me. So, but in the past, there would have been a part of me that either would have jumped to perform and pretend to defend, because I would have gotten defensive. I would have been like, he thinks I'm serious. Now I need to show him that I'm playful, or I need to show him that I'm this or I'm that, because I need to prove to him about who and what I am. But in that moment, it was just like, I don't need to prove myself to you. I don't need to prove anything to you. And it was like, it was such a powerful, game-changing moment, because in that moment, I knew that I wasn't limiting myself. The number one reason why we're not able to tap into our full power, when you're not able to turn it on and go next level or break through, is because you are limiting. You're disconnected from the panorama, from your full range of who you are. Because somewhere, you're giving over your power to other people, and you're either caring about being judged or what is somebody going to say. So you're constricting yourself. You're not actually like being alive. You're not really being authentic to who you are. So you're limiting, you've put yourself in a box of who you think you are. And, or said another way, this is actually even a better explanation of it, is you're allowing other people to tell you who you are. So in that moment, I could have been like having him tell me who I am. I'm a serious person. No, I'm not a serious person. I'm choosing to be serious right now. Being serious doesn't mean I'm a serious person. It means I'm choosing to be serious right now, because I know I have mastery over, because I have willpower over my behavior and what I need to do to become who I need to become. When you're lifting a lot of heavy weight, it's not appropriate to be acting silly. If you are, that's where you injure yourself. And this is why I tell people, when they're wanting to work with me and it feels like a stretch, where it feels like, ooh, that's out of my comfort zone, is you don't want it. And you're never ready. You're ready when you choose to be ready. You don't really want it yet, because when you want it, you're willing to focus and do whatever it takes to get in the game. That's the difference. And that's why I say, if you don't have what you want in your life, it's because you don't actually want it. You're not willing to make the sacrifices. So for example, I had to be willing to sacrifice what I thought other people think of me. I had to be willing to sacrifice giving a fuck what other people think of me. You may not realize that, but the difference between a lot of maybe why you're not being visible, why you're not being authentic, why you're not showing up, why you're not making the moves, why you're not doing this or that is because you're caring about what other people think of you. You cannot lead people if you're giving your power over to them. Oh, your gum moment. I definitely have been in situations like that and jumped to perform. Yeah. And I realized lately, yes. So exactly. So it's like I could have been in. So here's the thing is like, there's other times, like, so for example, like if I'm out performing and like I have to sing a song or I have a set, right? Or other times, like I've been in clubs, right? And I'm with my girlfriends and I'm dancing and they're like, oh my God, do that thing again. Or like do some break dancing again. And in that moment, like I can choose to be a performer and turn it on and put on a show because I want to. Because I want to, not because I have to, not because I care about what other people think, but because I want to and it's true for me. And that's what I mean by mastery, is that you can turn it on. You know how to turn it on. You know how to turn it off. Because there's also, you can get into issues where you just turn it on, but then you don't know how to turn it off. That's not mastery. That's called default setting. That's called autopilot. That's not mastery. That's not nuance. That's called being in a rut. So but then I have to tell you, here's the best part. And so then I sat down. So afterwards it was just like whatever. And he left and I sat down and I was focused on my breathing. I did another set. I came back. And I was just focused. I was like, I needed just to focus on breathing because it was like that's how hard I was going. That's how focused I was. And then this other guy comes over and he starts to lift the weights, like, cause they're over there and he goes to lift. And I go to him and I say, oh my God, I would love for you to put those weights away for me. And he like, it was like this whole moment where he just like looked at me and smiled. And it was just like, that is because the situation with the dude, right, is he was trying to run game. You know what I mean? Like it was he was trying to take that as an opportunity to penetrate me, to open me up, to get me to laugh, to be funny, to joke around. It was wrong timing. That's not what I needed. I didn't need to joke around at that moment because I need to focus. Now, the other dude, because maybe he's more tapped into his masculine, he's more attuned to what a woman needs, he's more appropriate. He was like, let me put these weights away. That I appreciated because at that moment, that's actually what I needed. I didn't need somebody to distract me and keep me from being focused. If you want to help me with my workout, yes, thank you. I will take that. But no, don't take me away from what it is that I'm focused on because you have an ulterior motive. Because you're trying to run game on me. I'm not interested in you running game on me. That's the truth. That's the whole fucking truth of the scenario. And another side tangent, actually, I was talking about this with some other, colleagues of mine in the field, is I could so teach a class for men on how to gym game, like how to step up their gym game and actually cultivate and be be in that like very sexy masculine energy that women would be really attracted to. Because guys try to do this in the gym all the time and it's like they don't have the game because they don't know. It's like they don't know, right? So anyhow, that's a whole other side tangent. I'm always coming up with these ideas. If you're interested, let me know. I got other colleagues that we're seriously considering this. So coming back to okay, Jen, you've been on here. Jim, help me. Yo, if you're serious, I mean, are you serious or are you just playing around? Because I'm serious. Now I'm serious. We're talking business. If you're serious about this, hit me up, let me know. I got you on this. I got you on this. Matchmaking is what I do. My quick comment texting needs a decoder sometimes. My quick comment texting, oh, I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, your gum moment. You meant gym moment. Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah. So, coming back to being serious, right? Is that when it's time, so when you want to make it's like you have to be willing to you have to sacrifice something. And that's what separates people, again, from not getting the change that they want. And this is where you're sleepy. It's like you don't even realize what you're being comfortable around. Because that's what the moon is about. The moon is where, moon meaning your subconscious, the subconscious patterns that where you don't realize where you're in your own way. You have a blind spot. Like you don't realize where you're in your own way because you're asleep and you can't see what you can't see. And the truth is that most people, they're actually more scared of their own power. You actually fear your power. Because when you fully come into your power, that means that your whole world is going to change. And are you willing to be on that path where everything that was familiar and comfortable to you, the relationships, the jobs, even how you speak, how you dress, how you talk, all of that starts shifting and changing. You think in your mind, of course that's what I want. It's a whole other ball game when you're in the moment and it's game time. I'm going to say that again because in your mind, in your fantasy, when you're dreaming about what it is that you want, I was in the Telegram chat, I have a few Telegram chats going on, by the way, but in my Mars Moxie container, I was talking with somebody about relationships and how, like, you think you want intimacy. So a lot of people, right, like they think they want a relationship. They think they want a more fulfilling, intimate, sexual relationship. But if they haven't had that yet, that means that they have to be different and they have to be willing to experience sensations that they've never felt before. One of a colleague and teacher that I admire, her name is Jillian Pothier. I believe this is her quote, but I've heard her say it a few times. And she says, everything that the feminine wants is on the other side of you being able to hold the sensation. Said another way, I'm going to say it another way, is that people think they want a relationship. They think they want to be more intimate. But when you open the heart and you're vulnerable and you allow yourself to be seen, because what happens when you open? Everybody can see you. They see all of you. You don't get to control, oh, I'm only going to show them this part of me. I'm only going to show them the fun part of me. I'm only going to show them what I want them to see. I'm not going to show them the fucking beast that I have underneath my bed. I'm not going to show them the part of me that's serious as fuck and that will slice something that gets in the way of my children. I'm not going to show them the part of me that's really fucking ambitious, or I'm not going to show them the part of me that maybe is scared. When you open, and that's what intimacy is, when you let somebody else in, you're vulnerable, now they get all of you. You can't have intimacy and be like, oh, but I'm only going to show them this part. I'm only going to open up and let them. That's not how it works. So when you open, there's an incredible amount of potential fear and anxiety because you're in the unknown. That you have to be able to hold the sensation of and be with in order to make contact, in order to have it, in order to possess it, in order for it to be real in my fucking pussy or in my bank account. Like a lot of people, it's like, I want more money, but then like, how are you? How do you feel when you think about, for example, like let's say, you know, I want you to think about I'm curious. Who here wants more money or more love? Because there's only two games in town, love and money. But I'm curious, or do you guys want both? Who wants more? What's your focus? Are you trying to get more money or you want more love? Be honest. And if you're not, then you can just leave the live stream. I love you anyway. But the reason why I'm asking you to get specific is because, first of all, this is gold. You're welcome. This is free coaching that I'm giving you here right now. And number two, it's about getting practical, because I can live stream to you and I can tell you all of these things and you could be like, oh yeah, that fucking makes sense. That's true. Da, da, da. It's a whole other ball game when you get really real and practical and you actually start embodying and backing up your desires with action and actually going through and experiencing the process of what it takes to become. Because the truth is, everything that you want, it's not about every time that I've gotten what I've wanted. Oh my God, this is like, I'm about to cry because this is every time that I've gotten what I've wanted. It's never about what I wanted. It's about who I became in order to have it. Said another way, if you want love, it's not about getting the love. It's about becoming the love. If you want money, it's not about getting the money. It's about becoming wealthy. The money is a fucking side effect because money can come and go. People that are wealthy, that know how to make money, all of the things that you want, it's because you're being it. It's not something that can ever be taken away because it's who you are. When you're a lover, you always have love in your life. When you're wealthy, I can spend a lot of money and the money's going to come right back into my bank account because it's who I am. I know how to make money. I just know how to do it. I know how to be with it. If you aren't that, and that's what I mean by Lauren, for sure. So the relationship, the love more than the money, but I do want both. Yeah. So if you want more love, then it's not about getting the relationship, right? It's not about what you're getting. We think that in the mind because that's how the mind works. It's like, I think I need to get something. It's about becoming the kind of person where that's just the way that it is. And that's why I'll say it again, is if you want to change your reality, You have to change your personality. You have to change who you are. Because you don't want to just have like a one night stand. You don't want to have a relationship, right, that's only good for a couple of months and then you're like dry for like months upon end, years upon end, or whatever it may be. Right? Because then and so this is what I talk about in the Stardisco brand is about what is alchemical change? When you marry your soul, when you commit to your soul's becoming, you make a commitment of devotion. We talked about this, by the way, you might remember this, Jen, in Saturn, the business of your soul. You're exclusive with Saturn, and how Saturn being the first stage of alchemy is that what is alchemical change? What's the difference between just physical change and alchemical change? Pop quiz. For everybody on the replay, my Saturn alumni, my exclusive with Saturn alumni, or even any of my Stardisco alumni, pop quiz. What is alchemical change? What is the difference between just change and alchemical change? I'm going to talk about that in just a bit, Jen. Because there's a difference between... Actually, I spoke about this inside of the Telegram chat. Did you listen to the Mars and Cancer role play, sex magic? Did you listen to any of those transmissions, by the way? Because I talk about this specifically, about the difference between love, romance, and polarity, and sexual fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, love fulfillment in a relationship. Did you listen to that? Did you hear that? Nobody? Come on, guys. Maybe there's not enough of you guys on here for you guys to answer that. Okay, so the difference between just like a physical change and alchemical change. So said another way, something that I've shared with a lot of people is I never used to have abs. Like I've been an athlete my entire life. But it was never a part of my body that like really matched everything else. Like I always had like incredibly like lean and muscular legs and arms and this, but I never had abs. It was like weird. It was like that part of me was stubborn, I guess, to change, and or I did not have the connection to it the way that I did with the other parts of my body. And so through working with Mars and Mars Moxie and Astro Magic, I developed abs. And now it doesn't matter what I do. This has been going on for several years now. I can go to a buffet, I cannot train them, and they're always there. Yes, I can improve them and they can like get even better, but it's like I've cemented in a new bottom line that I never go below because I've created alchemical change. It's irreversible. I cannot go back. I couldn't imagine me not having them. It's like I can't compute. It's like I can't compute. And it's the same thing with a certain amount of money that you're used to having. When you create alchemical change with money, or a relationship, or how you are in relationship, and you've actually created the alchemical change in your soul on a cellular level, on a mind, body, and spirit level, it doesn't matter what happens in your life. You can't imagine not having that kind of relationship to this aspect of your life where you can just turn it on and at will. It's like, boom, you open the faucet and it's there. When I want money, I turn it on and it's there. There's a certain amount that I don't go below and it's there. Same thing with my abs and my body and in my relationship. I can shift situations in my relationship with the snap of my fingers. It hasn't always been that way. This is the fucking work of my life. I've worked really hard on this. I had to make a decision where I got non-negotiable, where I said, I don't care if I'm going to get uncomfortable. I don't care if, I'm going to have to invest a lot of money on this. I don't care if I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. I'm willing to do whatever it takes because I am committed to my soul. So to circle back, this is the reason that people don't make the shifts. Whether it's through eclipse season, whether it's any opportunity that people have to go on that hero's journey, to go on an alchemical journey of change and transformation, where they change their world. To transform literally means to change worlds. I couldn't imagine living in a world where in the past. And that's what I mean by breaking with the past. In order to break with the past, you must change your world. You must be willing to change. And it's in these moments. It's like we always have these opportunities. So example, like how you said, Jennifer, with yesterday, right? How you're just like, you didn't want to, but you chose to. And then what happened? It paid off. You have to notice we have these moments all of the time, but because it's where you're sleepy and it's because it's a habit, you don't even realize it because it's a habit. You think a certain way, you behave a certain way. You have to start changing. It's like the version of you that is in a romantic, sexually fulfilling relationship that you desire is not acting the way and making the decisions and choices that you are right now. You have to acknowledge that. So what I want you to do is you ask yourself, the version of me that is, what is she doing? How is she thinking? What is just normal and natural for her in her life that she doesn't even think twice about, that she doesn't flinch, that she doesn't hesitate around? What is she doing? What's her lifestyle? How is she living her life? How is she spending her time? How does she talk? How does she treat herself? How does she think about herself? What are her standards? What does she know? How vulnerable is she? You have to get intimate with that version of you. Yes, the difference in alchemy is it's irreversible change. And so this is the whole premise of the Stardisco apprenticeship, of what Stardisco is you're going on rites of passage. There's specific portals and openings that is where when you say yes, and it does have to do with timing, meaning where there's a natural, and this is what I mean by dancing with the cosmos, being in line, in alignment with nature and with cosmos, is that these voices of intelligence, it's like there's certain maturation points that naturally become open and available for you to go through. It's like, it's the natural progression of it. But first of all, number one, we haven't been educated about this. Rites of passage is something that has been lost. And by the way, if you're interested in rites of passage, in archetypal rites of passage, and what this means to expand your archetypal range, to become aware of the archetypes and the voices of intelligence inside of your soul, those planets, and these rites of passages of Stardisco, there is a free intro training inside of my Telegram, my free Telegram channel that you can access. And you just let me know if that's what you're interested in, and I can provide that for you. So that's what we do in Stardisco in the 1-year apprenticeship. And it's a serious investment. This is 1 year that you are devoting to being in an alchemical marriage with your soul. What prevents people? Because what happens is people, maybe you're able to manifest things. Let me know if this is you. If you're like, yeah, I'm able to manifest things. Like, oh yeah, I made a bunch of money one time, or I got a man, like and it's like, oh, I can attract a man, but can you keep him? Can you captivate him? Can you keep making that kind of money and more and more and more and more? Because people can manifest things all the time, but a lot of people, they're not able to maintain it. They're not able to create the alchemical, irreversible, lasting change. And this is why, is because they invest a little bit of their time. They put a down payment in, and they're just like, ooh, for a short period of time. And they're like, I got results. But then they're not able to maintain it because they're not then taking the next step. It's not enough for you to be like, oh, I'll move this one time. And then it's kind of like saying, like back in the day, I was an amazing athlete. Like back in the day. Yeah, back in the day, great. Oh, whoa. What about now? Who are you choosing to be now? Because did your life end 20 years ago? That one time that you blah, 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 blah. No, your life is happening now. Who are you being now? What is in alignment for you now? And how are you investing and marrying and being devoted to the truth of who you're meant to become now? So what happens, like I said, is people are willing to do it for a short period of time, and then they get results, and then they're just like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to go do some things on their own. And then they drop the ball, and they don't keep on. They don't do it long enough to get to the point where the irreversible change happens. So something that I've added, it's new. It's not really that new, but I've added it into the program. Rather, I've added it into the structure of the Stardisco program, is archetypal activations and illumination activations, which is energy work. And this drops timelines. It helps you to cut down the time to create those, because you're installing the quantum light body architecture to hold you open. Because that's the whole process of, like, think of, you're going through a wormhole. The reason why people get stuck, or is because they don't make it all the way through to the other side, is because they collapse in the fear. So for example, when there's an opportunity for you to do the thing, you're getting a sign, you're getting a symbol, and then you get anxious, and you're just like, I'm anxious because I'm afraid. And a lot of times it's out of your comfort zone. It's out of your comfort zone somewhere, somehow. It could be with money. It could be with your time. It could be that's a lot of responsibility. That's a level of commitment that I'm not willing, whatever it is. Your brain is going to come up with all of the convincing reasons as to why. And because it's your brain, You're going to believe it because your brain is you. Your brain is designed to keep you in the status quo. So if you listen to your brain, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's logical. I don't have the money for it. Of course, you don't have the money for it because you're not yet the kind of person who normally and naturally invests in the types of things that makes you that kind of person. I'm going to say that again. If you don't have the money for it, it's because you're the kind of person who doesn't prioritize and invest in those things that the kind of person that does have those things values. You have to change how you value things. You can't say, I value health and taking good care of my body, but then you're not willing to invest your time, money, energy, and resources in your health. So you have to be willing to let go of the excuses. And that's the sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice the conditioned autopilot excuses of your brain that's cock blocking you from your desire? So I break this down. So if you're in a position where you know that there's a decision that needs to be made, or maybe you have a tough time in actually making and following through on decisions or big life decisions, or maybe you're considering hiring a mentor, being in a coaching program, you can use this for me, or you can use this for somebody else that you are considering working with. And I show you all of the different things that possibly come up that your brain is, and this is where you're sleepy, meaning you don't even realize that this is what's happening, but I break it down for you so that you can see it in black and white and start to identify, oh, yes, I do that. Oh, yes, I do that. And then you can start to become aware of it is number one. Then you have to start making different decisions and begin practicing it like it's your job. Because nothing happens if you don't change your action. You can watch this live stream. Oh, it was a great live stream. I learned so much from Stephanie. But then if you go back to living your life and actually not following through on where your heart is nudging you, on where your desire is leading you, and you just go back to being asleep and living your life, then you just wasted, I don't know, an hour and a half of your time, which is fine. I'm just telling you. So what I would recommend, if you've been into this and you've been watching this and you're just like, I'm getting it, maybe even if some of this language is kind of foreign to you and you're just like, I get it, but I'm not used to this because it's a new language. You have to trust your intuition and ask yourself, is there actually something here for me that's requiring me to learn something new? Maybe I need to learn a new skill. Maybe I need to trust that the reason I'm not good at this thing yet is because I have to be willing to do something that's hard, and maybe be willing to be a fool and look like a fool in order to get good at it first. A lot of reasons why people aren't willing to change and to do new things is because they don't want to look foolish in the beginning doing something and look like they don't know what they're doing. But that's in order to go on to become wise, to gain mastery in any area, you have to be willing to be a fool. To be a fool in love. You have to be willing to be the fool and be like, I might not get this. I might fail. I might fucking fail. And you must be willing to go through that. Because if you're not willing to go through it, you're being codependent and and conditional. You're saying, I'm only going to do this if I get a guarantee. I'm only going to do this if I know for sure I'm going to get my money back. I'm only going to commit to this person if I know for sure they're going to love me back. That's called being codependent and conditional, meaning I'm only going to do it if, and that's not devotion. That's not surrender. That's not submission. That's called control. You're trying to stay in control. And as long as you're in the known control zone, you don't get to go forward. That's what's keeping you stuck. You have to be willing to let go of the control and be like, I'm willing to let go to what I know and to what I'm clinging on to in order to embrace the infinite possibilities that are available to me that's in the unknown. I have to be willing to dance with the uncertainty, to take a risk, all for love, to do it all for love, to do it all for my life. That's what it means to be a warrior. The Aries energy is courageous. That is the energy that this eclipse is demanding of you. If you want to go through the wormhole, something very simple. You might want to star this. You might want to put highlighters on this. You might want to put this on a sticky note inside of your car or in your bedroom or on your window somewhere where you can see it every day. Is make a commitment to yourself to do one thing every day that really fucking scares you. The one thing that you're like, I'm not going to do, I'm scared. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. No. By the end of the day, do it. I promise, I can guarantee you this. You want a guarantee? I can guarantee you this. If you do that, you will start to turn on a source of power within you. You will have to start you will start having to reintroduce yourself to people. You're going to start to have to reintroduce yourself to people. People are going to be like, who are you and what did you do with my best friend? Because you're changing. You're changing. You have to do the things that you think in your mind you cannot do. Because it's not true. It's only your mind that's like a kinky little control freak that wants you to be suffering with your problem because it's in a weird, kinky, twisted way. You actually get off on your comfort zone because it feels comfortable and safe and it feels all of this. I mean, when it comes to breaking through, resolving triggers, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to romance, when it comes to love, when it comes to lifting the veil on all of the blind spots and all of the ways that you are in fear and you're not seeing yourself, you're not feeling yourself, you're not really being intimate with who you really are, really seeing yourself and having other people see you in that very illuminated way. This is what we do inside of Lift the Veil, the mermaid cleanse. This is where we're christening off the Stardisco apprenticeship, is with this, because it's the foundation. So you can either choose to join me in the apprenticeship. If you have questions about that, please reach out to me. There is registration, application, and pre-qualification right now that I'm doing. Reach out to me about the Stardisco apprenticeship. It's a 1-year apprenticeship. if you want to do this on your own, a self-paced, self-study course, I have this available on my website. It's called Sirens and Shadows, a Mermaid Cleanse. Self-paced, you can do it all on your own, okay? The price on the 1-year apprenticeship goes up April 1st. So there's no reason to pay more unless you want to pay more. If you like paying more, bring it my way. I'm happy to receive that from you. But if you want to do it before the price goes up, April 1st, the price goes up, okay? There are payment plans. There are several payment plans. And like I say to everybody who is feeling the call, there is a night and day difference between the woman who says, I want this, and I'm willing to do and be with the uncomfortableness of my desire by owning what I want and choosing just to take the next step, whatever that may be. And the woman who says, I want this, but I can't afford it. You want to know the difference between the first woman and the second woman? The first woman is actually in desire. The second woman operates her life out of need. She only gives herself what it is that she needs. And we all know, and I say this with love, money does not follow need. Money doesn't go where it's needed. Money goes where it's desired. Have you ever been around somebody who's needy? It's like you don't want it. Money will not follow you when you're only doing things and giving yourself what you need, because desire and need are two different things. So you can either choose to be a woman who is led by heart and desire, or you can be needy. The choice is always up to you. Your job, if you want to change, is to you don't know, just the hero's journey. Supernatural forces do come to your aid, but you have to be the person that says yes. If you don't say yes, you don't get it. It's that simple. I know it sounds simple, and it is simple, but it's a whole other ballgame to actually do it. All right, guys. If you want information on how to make those decisions when it comes to the eclipses and being able to spot how you basically mind fuck yourself and not using your authority and following your inner authority, let me know. I can provide that for you. I'm going to drop the link to my free Telegram channel, the Stardisco Telegram channel. This is only if you are seriously interested in the apprenticeship. You have questions, you want to have access to the free intro trainings and VIP offers and giveaways and specials. If you're not really interested in that, I don't recommend it for you. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.